Hello.
Hey Jackie. So your introduction to LeakyCon for us is seeing you on stage, the opening ceremony as Rachel Berry. So tell us what that was like getting to take on that role.
Oh, it was so much fun. Tessa and I are friends, and she wrote it basically. She helped write it, and she and I were talking like 2 weeks before, and she's like, "I was thinking of you for Rachel Berry," and I was like, "Yeah, like I'm down. That sounds fun." And then it was really fun because I was doing it with like Dom, he was my backup singer as Rachel Berry, but he was actually a warbler on Glee, and so he was able to tell me, he was like, okay, whenever Leah's like in a scene as Rachel, like she always does this with her hair, and it's like little stuff like that I could parody. So that was great to have that like knowledge. It was so much fun. It was so much fun, especially seeing, like all the Star Kid performances and loving those, and then to actually perform on stage with them is always a trip.
Yeah.
It's kind of surreal. And then especially to perform with Anthony Rapp, who is unbelievably talented and somebody that I love. So that was, the whole experience itself was absolutely wonderful.
So for the Harry Potter books and Hunger Games books, were you like a fan of the books before the movie franchises really kicked in, or were those what kind of got you into the books?
I was with the Harry Potter books?
Well, I guess for both, so we can start with Harry Potter.
Okay, Harry Potter, huge fan of the books before the movie franchises. I started reading them when I was in kindergarten. So I was only on like the third one when the first movie came out. Okay. Because the fourth one hadn't come out yet.
Right.
Or it had, I don't know, something like that. And I remember going and sitting in the theater. It was my first book to movie experience, and being like, Mom, this is Dumbledore. Oh, it's McGonagall. It's McGonagall. She's a cat. And like, I was just so excited every time a character appeared on the screen, because I was like, ah. So that was definitely a lot of fun. And I was a huge fan of Hunger Games too before I got cast. So watching it come to life in person was probably the best part of the whole experience.
Yeah. So taking on the character of Foxface, I think Foxface is really interesting because we know so little about her, but she is such a prominent character in that first book.
But that's like giving an actor a box of chocolates.
Of course.
Because I got to be like, I get to do whatever I want. Like,
yeah, so you predicted my question. What was it like taking on that kind of role that fans were so excited to see, and you kind of had something of an open slate to sort of like be very creative with it.
Yeah.
So what was that like?
I mean, it was just awesome. It was great. I got to work with Gary, and he was like, I'm like, I see her maybe having a twitch, and I was like, yeah, like I'll work with that, and like a tick type thing, and that was the blinking, and it was I got to create like a whole backstory for her, and all that stuff that as a movie watcher you never see, but as the person playing the character, like I know it all, and so it's just so much fun. It's so much fun to like fully immerse yourself in that world. Yeah, because especially if you're playing like one of the parts that's more heavily described in the books, you have more limitations. Because you can't necessarily go with it in any one direction. And that was the great part about this, is that I really got to be like, I don't really know where I'm going to go. I'm going to start with this broad thing, and then I'm going to kind of narrow down her life and her family, and da-da-da. Okay, this is what she's like. And that was so much fun.
Yeah. Was Suzanne Collins like ever on the set? Did you get to meet her?
So she was on set for a couple days.
Did she sort of impart any knowledge about Foxface that maybe readers didn't get that helped you with the acting?
Not knowledge per se, but I do have a fun story with her.
Okay.
Well, because she came to set and I was freaking out, and she signed my book and she wrote like, to my Foxface, and
That's awesome.
Had a little fangirl moment. And then at the premiere, I was just walking through the crowd, and all of a sudden somebody grabbed me in like this massive hug and whispered in my ear, like, I'm so proud of you. You're exactly how I imagined Foxface. Thank you. And she pulled away, and it was Suzanne Collins, and I was like, hi, best moment of my life. Like, thank you. I was beyond excited. She walked away, and my friends were all like, oh, like, what just happened?
Yeah, definitely.
So that was pretty amazing.
So did you get pretty close to the other members of the cast? I mean, I guess we would all love to see you, continue in the trilogy, but do you still feel like you're close to the cast members?
Oh, totally. I mean, I still see them in LA a lot. We hang out a ton. It's a lot of fun. We do reunions occasionally, but we'll always have like this little bond. It's great to see everybody going off and doing their own thing, but still kind of staying connected, involving everybody else. So it's a good group of friends, good people to know.
Do you feel like the movies are going to take an interesting turn with the change in director from this first to the second film?
I'm excited. I have no idea what to expect. I've just heard really great things.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to see what comes of it.
Awesome. Okay, so I think we're on our last question. I know you're like your
No
movies
pressure.
and movies and music like are a huge part of your life. Like,
Yes.
How do you like balance those two? Do you like just feel so immersed in both of them that it's just kind of like your life all the time, or do you feel like you have a good balance?
I think I have a good balance. See, I'm also a student, so I took a gap year this year, but I started Stanford in September. But this year has been amazing because I've really gotten a chance to, because I worked really hard in school, and this year I really got a chance to kind of dive into my acting and my music. I'm in the recording studio right now, actually working on some new singles, which I'm very excited about, and they're a lot more me, I think, than my other songs, and I can't wait to kind of share them with everybody. Like, I'm really, really excited. They sound awesome so far. And with, the movies, it's great. It's a lot of fun. I've shot a couple things this year, and like I've got a project that Son of the South, which is keeps getting postponed, but Stanford said that they'll work with me around school, and I also know that it's so close to LA that with my music, I'll be able to fly back and forth, and I have a keyboard so I can continue songwriting in my room. So I fully expect to keep both of them up because I've been doing it all my life, and I mean it's my heart. Like I couldn't ever not sing or not act. I love them both so much. People ask me sometimes, they're like, what do you like better, singing or acting? I'm like, I honestly, like I cannot answer that. It's like if you ask me like who my favorite twin is out of my sisters. Like you just can't do that. They're both such a big part of me. It's great. It always feels good. It's always a balance. And when it is unbalanced, I can always kind of rebalance it.
Great.
So it's fun.